but we do deal in politics. So if you don't mind, if I can ask a few questions about your actual campaign and
Absolutely.
going over there. So one thing I found that was interesting is that previously you were endorsed by Harry Reid. And in this particular race, however, he's opted to endorse someone else, Senator Ruben Cahoon. And so my question to you is, it seems like you're fighting an uphill battle in terms of fundraising against establishment players. I saw another candidate who looks like another Democratic candidate who looks like she's seriously funded. I believe her name is Susie. I didn't write her name down completely. Oh, no, I did. Susie Lee. She's heavily funded. You know, tell us about the fight that you're in politically, and what is your path? How have you guys crafted out a path to victory, and what does that look like?
Well, first and foremost, I'm incredibly well positioned in this race because I'm the only person who, one, has spent a lifetime in this district. I have been in this district since I was 2 years old, as I mentioned earlier. I'm the only person who's actually represented a portion of the district in the Nevada legislature, and I'm the only person who just came off of that statewide race. So my initial polling indicated that I was far, far ahead, and this was about a year ago when I decided to get in. I was 19 points ahead. And that was largely due because lots of people know who I am. They've gotten to know me personally. They've gotten to know my story. They at least recognize my name. I am a very, very hard worker. I spend a lot of time talking with people. If I could spend all of my time talking with just people, with voters, rather than having to spend any time at all fundraising, I would, of course, do that. But the realities, as you said, are there. So what we have then been able to work off of is that substantial base of support, that universe of support that exists out there in this entire district. I should also mention that I'm the only person who's been on the ballot in every single county in the entire district. So we're already have an amazing lead. Now, as of a couple of weeks ago, I was endorsed by the 3 major progressive national organizations out there. Democracy for America, MoveOn.org, which, by the way, I won with 64% of the vote from people in the district in a 4-way race. Getting 50 plus 1, the majority, in a 4-way race is hard enough, but getting 64% we thought was pretty incredible. And also the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, the PTRIC. So those 3 organizations have endorsed me. So what they did is they actually polled and didn't tell us. That poll from just a couple of weeks ago indicates that we are now 20 points ahead, despite collectively my opponent spending close to $500,000 already, and every single one of them are still polling in the single digits. This primary race is 3 months out, so all of them have an enormous bridge to span in a very short amount of time. That being said, because one is endorsed by, the political establishment, he's managed to get political favors and labor endorsements and other things that have happened. I'm very proud, for example, of all of my endorsements because I've earned them. I didn't ask for any political favors. I didn't ask for any string pulling, particularly with MoveOn.org, where it was a vote of the members, and so we're incredibly proud of that support. But once the other candidate, as you mentioned, is a multimillionaire, has already put in $150,000 of her own money into this race. And so once she starts dumping all of that money, those numbers are going to move. They absolutely are. So we know that we're up against some tough competition, but we also know that we're very, very much ahead, and we also know that we have this incredible base of support out there in the community. So as long as we are able to continue fundraising so that we can stay competitive, and of course there isn't a harder worker out there, we are feeling incredibly confident about how we're doing and where we're going come June 14th.
Okay, I'm getting I see a Noah rubbing her arms, and I'm getting all warm and fuzzy over here because what you're doing is exactly what we have been talking about on our end that needs to be done. You're not a mass marketed candidate. You are a candidate who is from the area, who knows the people, who knows the issues. The people know you. And because of that, despite the campaign, the fundraising advantage that your opponents have, you still have this competitive edge that they don't have. And they, quite frankly, in my opinion, they won't be able to buy. You have a model that I think really needs to be replicated across the country for progressives, that someone who knows the people, someone who knows the issues, that may not have $500,000 to run, but has millions of dollars worth of connections with the community, can come out and really bring it to not only the establishment, but bring it on behalf of the people. So I really applaud.
Absolutely.
I am a fan of what you're doing.
And what I always say is that we absolutely can win. We don't have to be the #1 fundraiser in this race. Is not going to be the winner. The person who has enough to compete and is the hardest worker is going to be the winner. So don't get me wrong, fundraising is absolutely important, and you know, these small dollar contributions in the way that I've been raising money, I can now, you know, for example, my multimillionaire opponent was trying to get to 1,000 individual contributors at the end of January. At the end of January, I was crossing the 3,000 mark. I'm now at 5,500. So, you know, obviously, what Bernie has really been able to, I think, in my opinion, really revolutionize the way that some of us progressive candidates who don't have that establishment money behind us are still able to be competitive, because people are realizing that, you know, their $3 and $5 does make a difference. If enough people come together, if enough people, you know, if 3.5 million of Bernie supporters all sent me $1, we would be set. You know, so all I need is a fraction of those folks to send me a couple dollars, and we're in good shape. And we've been in good shape now. You know, we've done relatively well with our fundraising despite those challenges.
We're working on that, by the way. We're working. I work with the Bernie subreddit. I think you did an AMA with them.
I did, yes. It was really great.
Us and some outside groups, we have some fundraising projects, and we're going to do our best to help with that.
Well, thank you.
I have one. Actually, you know what? We've held you long enough. And I know you have a long day ahead of you tomorrow, as is every day in your profession. I want to thank you, Lucy, so much for taking the time to come on. We have to have you back so that we can ask all the other questions that are coming flooding in right now. And we have people calling in wanting to probably speak to you. But I don't want to belabor the hour too long for you. I do want to ask you to do this one last thing for us. Tell them where they can go and to support you financially, what they can do, what is it that you need the most from this progressive army that we're building here? How can we push you forward?
Well, you can get more information, and you can find my ActBlue account at my website, lucyflores.com. You know, outside of fundraising here in Nevada, the outpouring of support has been absolutely incredible. I made a comment to some media earlier today that it's been really awesome, because I haven't had to do any outreach whatsoever for volunteers. People are flocking to the campaign, and so later on in the future, here shortly in the next couple of weeks, we'll have virtual phone bank opportunities as well. So even if you're not in Nevada and you can't volunteer, you can do so virtually. But I would say first and foremost, we do have an important FEC deadline coming up on the 31st of March. And so if you do have a couple dollars to spare, you can please go to lucyflores.com and do that contribution there. It absolutely adds up, and it has made such a significant difference in this campaign.
Lucy,
I'll also say that I'm more, as you can tell, I love talking with people, so I'm more than happy to answer a question if you'd like. But I would love to come back. I'd love the opportunity to keep talking some more about the issues.
Well, far be it from me to oblige you. If you want to answer a question, let me read this last question
Okay.
from the chat room. Since you love to talk and I love to hear you talk, let's do this.